Okay, so this is a super primitive first draft thing. I've just shoved stuff on the board, pre-measured a bit. There's no terrain, there's no opponent to fuck with the plans. Um, but this is just sort of a very, very rough vision of what I was smoking at 3:30 in the morning with sleep deprivation, and trying to think of what is the list trying to achieve turn one, like what is its goals, because when I was building the list, I just kept having like mini epiphanies like, oh my god, you have to think about this, you have to think about that. Awoken is really difficult to play. And I think it's going to take a lot of practice and reps to get comfortable with this faction. But hey, that's why we do these sorts of silly things. So this is my version of the Tenbatsu thing with a cultist to abuse the X-Ax, really, to cheat in more Arachnid processions and get a higher fear value, more models, more activations, yada yada yada. And then obviously using Ren to heal them up, and from turn 2 they have activation counters and they'll be in the fight. So the general idea is, first of all, like, I've pre-measured all of this, so it's like super perfect. Yeah, people will put terrain in the way, but this is something you can think about and try and optimize as far as possible. Maybe you're putting terrain to the side where it's not going to annoy you, like if it's like impassable pieces of terrain, um, or like nasty, difficult pieces of terrain, just shove them over to the side. And I think you'd also, as Awoken, prefer to choose sides over deployment, because you're playing so slow turn one anyway. Who cares if they see your deployment, right? So I would always try and get the choice of side, um, so then you can counter the first piece of terrain that your opponent places down by building your preferred deployment zone, right? So if they would plop something right down here in the middle of everything where you need it to go, well, you're just choosing the other side and building your board accordingly, right? Okay, but let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So my idea was, I've put the advanced webbing like super optimized so that Akita and Aiumi will be able to run, be in contact with the web victims, and touch the advanced webbing to do their weight actions. So as Akita is large and this is medium, like she can look over it and see the place, like also past here. She can see the spot she's going to be running to, and she's just going to run 6 inches. And it should be perfect if I've done it correctly. Yeah, just a bit, just a smidge over here. And she'll just about be intersecting it here, as you can see. As you can see, super optimized. In a tournament game, I would be measuring these things and talking to my opponent that this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. So there's no discussions. And she can see that point, so she's just going to run there. So that's my first activation. Let's actually use activation counters and count. So that's 1. Right? Then 2, Aiumi does the same thing, 6 inches. Boop, 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 no cheating. There we go. And just shove it over there. Same thing. That's number 2. Again, super optimized, just about touching that. And there we go. Touching both, so they get a free key and they can do their webbing, silliness. That's 2. Then 3 is probably Banri, just running up the field here, touching this X-Sac. Doesn't need to be super optimized here for these purposes, but he goes here. Oops, there we go. So he's running here for activation 3, and he's slitting his own arm to go up to 2 key with Cultist. So that he, in his 4th activation, exhausting himself, can destroy this X-Sac here and spawn in one of our spider friends. I'm just going to put to the side here. We'll just get B here, and the good thing is I don't even need to be in base to base with him. It has to be in base to base with the X-Sac. So I can just place it here. This thing will be exhausted as well because it's coming onto the board too late to gain activation counters, but that's not a problem. And he's on 1 HP, I believe, if I read the card right. X-Sacs with 1 unmarked wound box, yeah. But this is exactly why we have Ren, right? So that was 4 activations. Run, 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 destroy this. He's down to 0 key. And Ren now declares a heal action, and you can walk as part of it. So again, super optimized here. She can walk up 4 inches. There we go. and heal Procession B up to full. So from turn 2 onwards, that guy is going to be just a free model, really. And that's a 5th activation. Then our 6th activation, I don't know, we could have Tashi run up again. Like, I'm envisioning her to be teleporting turn 2 with her ability. So for now, I'm just going to park her touching the web victim for an extra key, because why not? That's activation number 6. And at this point, you can start being fancy, right, with putting down webs, or even earlier if you really need it. If your opponent's making some big pressure plays, you start laying down your webs with your 2 big girls here. So that was 6. Then you go, I don't know, 7, 8, 9. Maybe there are 2 more webs here, whatever, you figure that out. Tenbatsu can run in here, 6 inches for the 10th activation. Right? And I want to purposely move Tenbatsu late, so if someone's really fast and wants to pressure me early, well, they have to deal with Tenbatsu coming in. He has a 10-inch threat range with run and melee, and he's still scary. Like, even with 3 dice after running, he's scary. So that's, I don't know, at this point I've lost count, probably 7 or something activations. Then he, because he starts with 2 key, can destroy this egg sac if you really need it turn 1. Like, otherwise the cultist can do it. But I think, actually, the more I think about it, the more I like this. And that guy comes in here, and we're going to destroy the egg sac. And now that I look at it, I could probably even make it more optimized so that Ren could get there immediately without stuff in the way. So maybe we're just moving this over that way, and Tashi is wherever, to be honest, at this point. Maybe even over here. So that Ren can then move in a second time. Boop, and it had to spawn here, and heal the other one, right? Oh, and I still have this free spider doing spidery things, wherever he may be. And that's like your first turn. Something like that. And for turn 2, you now have 2 free swarms that are full HP. So your list is Fear 7, apart from Tenbatsu, who is Fear 6, and the Cultist, who is Fear nothing. So it's nothing to sniff at. In the mirror, like, you're often going to be playing against a Fear 7 Awoken list, where you've already neutralized their Fear advantage. Tenbatsu's soulless, obviously, so he doesn't care. And only your swarms can't really engage the others, but you just hold them back for a bit until Tenbatsu or maybe even Tashi has been able to kill something and bring down their fear value a bit. Because in the mirror, like, the swarms aren't going to be doing much, right? I don't think they can engage, right? They don't have fearless or anything. No. But you can use them as roadblocks. Let your opponent attack them because they're tireless. And if they get frightened, like, whatever, I guess. They're just there to be roadblocks and up your fear value, and they can always be healed by Ren. And they do stuff. They just, take away activations. And Tenbatsu is there to break down the fear value. And I really be careful with these. Don't throw stuff away, because as soon as Tenbatsu kills one model, you have the fear advantage. 2, he can easily kill 2, right? If they have a fear 8 list for some reason. And then you should be in cruise control against Awoken Mirror specifically. And to be honest, I actually like this list above the regular Fear 7 list against most opponents anyway, because as we were discussing, in a competitive setting with a 2-list format, rare is the day where Fear 7 or Fear 8 is actually going to matter and carry you to victory. And then I'd rather just have Tenbatsu and a ton of swarms, right? Because the swarms can easily poison people with combo attack, just going balls to the walls, because they know Ren is behind them and can heal them. And let's see, which one did I pick? Banri. Yeah, I even got Banri, so he can run up behind a swarm and sacrifice himself to heal if you really need to, right? So you can be super aggressive with your swarms, hand out poison counters. With Unforeseen outcome, maybe just really load up Akita and threaten this big curse fate thingy. And then just clean the fuck up, right? So I like this list, and I think I actually prefer it as a generalist list, because it good. I don't know. Maybe there's a second list you want to play against certain things. I haven't really thought about it, but overall, I just really like this concept, and yeah, excited to hear what you're thinking about, and maybe the list you posted earlier this morning could be that second list. Yeah, let's discuss.